Whoo! What's going on, YouTube? Sensing the place to be. Children, Mr. A&E. Back to give you guys an NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day review. So first of all, I'm here kicking it by myself because my co-host, I don't know where Prime Time's at, traveling the world with celebrities, sleep, or some whatever the case may be. And my man Q Flow, of all the ones from the Royal Rumble stream, he out there working right now, but I hope he is tuning in. So, it's me kicking it by myself, but it's understandable because you know what? It's Valentine's Day. I hope everybody out there is enjoying their Valentine's Day. They got their little sugar mama, or they got their wife, or they got their girlfriend, stuff like that. Me and my wife just had our Valentine's dinner before NXT, actually while NXT was on. So it was nice. Hope everybody out there is enjoying the love, feeling the love. I know we can't go anywhere, can't do no special dates or go out there to restaurants, even though some people don't give a shit. But I'm just saying, people, really can't go outside like that. So I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves at home. But I'm glad you guys take the time to come with me, kick it with me right here and talk a little bit of wrestling, talk some NXT. So, like I said, we do plan on doing these live streams every single pay-per-view. And WWE's about to kill us right now because next week is the Elimination Chamber. And, we already get set up for that, stuff like that. So, but right now, NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, even though I do think that they missed the opportunity by not calling the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, in my personal opinion. But I know they probably didn't want to use the word massacre because it's massacre and sponsors, stuff like that. It's amazing the some shit WWE cares about and the other shit WWE don't care about, but whatever the case may be. So we got a good lineup here. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I missed the pre-show, so I didn't see. I think they said God, who came from Impact over to WWE? I'm not sure who it was, but if you guys know, y'all guys can put it down in the chat below of who came over. But I missed the pre-show. And unfortunately, when you are married and you have two children, I tend to get mixed up with something when it comes to dealing with the kids during the women's triple threat match. So I only got to see parts of it, and I'm very upset by that. So please forgive me when I get to that part. It's going to be not as detailed as it personally can be. So, all right, guys, let's get into NXT right here. And I'm telling you right now, it was a good show. Off the bat, I thought it was a good show. And, each match, I had my predictions, but obviously each match had me kind of, on edge a little bit. Me personally, I thought the tag team matches are the ones that stole the show from me. I thought the tag team matches were the ones that stole the show. But we kick off NXT Vengeance Day with for the finals for the Dusty Women's Classic. We get Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai taking on Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. First and foremost, we have the level ramp for anybody who watches AEW or remember the old WCW. We have the level ramp, and I was just like, okay, there's a lot of things superstars can do on that level ramp type thing. So we're in the matchup. Shotzi's going to take most of the heat, of course, but it was a good match. As the match starts breaking down, we have Raquel Gonzalez is in the ring with Ember Moon. Ember Moon goes to the top rope, hits a beautiful, because I like how Ember Moon hits the Eclipse now than she did when she used to do it. I don't know, it's more umph in that Eclipse now, and I think because she don't do it as often, she makes sure she puts it all up in there. She has Raquel Gonzalez beat, but then Dakota Kai distracts the referee, and it gets basically just distracts the referee. So as we're on the outside, as we continue to fight, Shotzi Blackheart grabs Dakota Kai and she puts her on her shoulders, and or Ember Moon puts her on her shoulders. One or two days, I'm trying to remember which one it was. I put down here in my notes, and they have her on top. They're on the outside, by the way. Ember Moon, I'm gonna say Shotzi Blackheart on the top rope. And they jump down and slam Dakota Kai's head right on the floor. I was like, Doomsday Device right there on the floor. I was like, whoa, did not expect that spot from those ladies at all. We get back into the ring. Gonzalez throws Ember Moon onto the stage. It looked like it sucked. And then she kind of trucks her off the stage. Shotzi Blackheart, Dakota Kai still fighting. Shotzi Blackheart shoulder back toss of Dakota Kai over the top rope onto Raquel Gonzalez, and I was just like, "Oh Lord, it's level ramp." Shotzi Blackheart is about to go die, and I mean climbing the top. And after she's probably gonna do a senton, they're gonna move, and she's just gonna fall splat right on the level ramp. But they didn't do that this time. She was about to go up there, but then Raquel knocks her off, and then Dakota gives her a kind of like a boot, but then Raquel Gonzalez press slams her while she's on the outside on the panel. Dakota Kai right onto Shotzi Blackheart, and then she goes and hits the one-arm power bomb, and they both cover Shotzi Blackheart, so there's no way she's going to kick out. And Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, my pick to win the whole thing, won it. The Dusty Rhodes Women's Cup. So this is the first ever Dusty Rhodes Women's Cup. I'm glad for them too, and I definitely see them as tag team champions. So they showed me they can beat was it Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, and I do think that they need to play up the story between Shayna Baszler and Dakota Kai, how it was before, of how she bullied Dakota Kai. She got like busted her arm, and then Dakota Kai never got that receipt, for that. So I'm kind of hoping that she gets that receipt on Shayna Baszler and takes some championships off from, because Shayna and Nia Jax need to be on their own regardless. So they don't need to be the makeshift tag team, but these two feel like the women's version of Shawn and Diesel, to say the least. We're moving on to the North American Championship. Johnny Gargano taking on Kushida. I'm going to call out Kushida right here because I'm a little upset by this. With this being one of his first title defenses in NXT, and him having a whole Back to the Future gimmick, and with them having a level ramp to the ring, you mean to tell me that I get no type of Back to the Future entrance? The thing I was thinking of was like, look, I'm not saying he hasn't come out in the DeLorean, but I'm saying, but with the level, with the level ramp to the ring, you can have a fire coming out on both sides, just like the Back to the Future thing. And I thought that would have been dope. And I was like, okay, because it's his first title match. Treat it like a big deal, but it did. I'm not saying it's a nitpick. I mean, that's something to me personally. I'd have been like, man, I thought you could capitalize on that, but not. As they get into the ring, first off, they are what I call spamming the R2 button. So anybody who's played 2K or anything like that know that when it comes to spamming the R2 button, hey, everybody's sitting there in reverse and getting the best of everybody. When they finally get that standoff and they get the clap going on. Well, they are doing this for about the good portion of the first matchup until they get to the outside and Kushida hits a Falcon's Arrow arm bar on a Johnny Gargano. I'm like, oh, we taking a lot to the outside today. So throughout that whole matchup, Kushida is working on the arm of Johnny Gargano, and it, of course, put him in different arm bars, trying to get him to tap. And there's a thing on the top where she goes to the top and like does a diving arm bar. Johnny Gargano, he's trying to tap, but then he holds on to it. It doesn't happen. There was one spot where they both like slide on their knees, and then they close on each other, and they kind of fall on their knees, and they both hit each other, knock each other out. So these guys are having some good chemistry. To me, this was Kushida's best match since even coming over to WWE. I don't know if I feel like they treat him like Kenta per se, but probably so. It's like, I never watched Kushida anywhere else before. I think he was in New Japan or one of Japanese promotions, but I never seen what he could probably do. I remember Primetime telling me all the great things Kushida can do, and I was like, okay, he's been average to me since being on the main roster, but this match right here really showed me something here. So I'm a fan of him. But however, Gargano, I believe, hits the one final beat on Kushida and retains the North American Championship. I'm about to say, I think it was the right move. I mean, it was good to show all what Kushida can do, but I think he needs, other than just having the Back to the Future gimmick, I think he needs a little bit more kind of a personality or a little bit more something that he can kind of like work off of, other than just being, Kushida type thing. Coming up next, in my personal opinion, is the match of the night. Okay, the match of the night, we have MSK taking on Grizzled Young Vets for the Dusty Cup. This is the finals for the men's tournament. I was the one that said, look, okay, I picked Grizzled Young Vets to win this matchup. And then I said, if Grizzled Young Vets don't win, because I don't know if you go to the finals twice and lose, but if Grizzled Young Vets don't win, I say you got to put over the new tag team at MSK. But those two I picked, and I know Prime picked somebody else, so I was waiting for him to say, look, I told you so. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you. But I definitely had MSK or Grizzly Young Vets. But Grizzly Young Vets was first to win this matchup. So High Octane, this was all over the place. Great wrestling right here until we get starts breaking down towards the end. They do their standing backflip push. I forgot what they call it, where one of them does the backflip and he push him over onto the guy. That was cool. And then they do the poison round to the other one. I don't necessarily know the names of Grizzly Young Vets individually and MSK, because it's like you know names, but it's like which one is which, kind of thing like that. So forgive me for that. That's why I usually kind of have prime time for stuff like that. So as we go to the as we do all that, we go to the outside. They have MSK, the black one, up, and he's on his shoulders. I was like, what they about to do? And then homeboy from Grizzly Young Vets runs through the ropes, dives through there, and gives him a clothesline and flips him backwards. The Doomsday Device on the outside. I was like, that could have went wrong so many different ways. That could have went wrong so many different ways, but they got it did. Okay, they got it did. Then we get back into the ring, and then so they are just a double teaming up on the other member of MSK, and they beat him down. They get him ready for the finishing move. When they have him in the tombstone and pick him up in the like the shatter machine, the double knees type thing. But then the black one comes back up in there, breaks it up. They give double super kicks, and as one of them is laying down, MSK goes up for a swanton, then a corkscrew splash, which was beautifully done. But they kicked out, and I was like, oh my god. This is intense. So they pick him up, and then the black guy goes up, bounces, and dives and does a twisting blockbuster on the Grizzly Young Vets, and they won. MSK wins. I'm not shocked that MSK won, but I was like, damn, I really thought they was really gonna push Grizzly Young Vets on this one, but I did. MSK was another one of mine that I actually did say was actually going to win the match. So they make a celebration, saying they start hugging and embracing in the ring, start kind of crying, stuff like that. I thought it was very entertaining kind of stuff. They had the confetti all flying down. That they treated it like a huge big deal. And I mean, that's what one thing I do like is when they do treat things like a big deal. And sometimes they don't necessarily do that as much. We got this Cameron Grimes music video. I really am upset that I don't have Prime here to see the reaction, because I'm telling you, he hates Cameron Grimes. And boy, did they do this music video, because now his whole gimmick is that he put into the GameStop stocks that happened a couple weeks ago, and now he just went from Cameron Grimes to just making all this money. And literally, it's a music video with him just doing rapper shit with music, with money, just tossing the money in the bed of money, naked with the money, burning the money, just sitting swimming in the money and everything like that. And they saying he's stacking money to the moon. And I'm just like, yo, I found that thing very amusing. I found myself actually sitting there laughing, and I was like, I was texting Prime when it happened. I was like, yo, he is not happy with this show right now. We go on to the women's triple threat matchup. This is the one that unfortunately I didn't see all the way through. Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez, and Io Shirai. There's one point in the match. The action supposed to be outside between Martinez and Toni Storm. Io Shirai tries to go for a moonsault on the outside when Mercedes Martinez moves, and like she kind of like flips herself like the momentum, like slams her back into the barricade. I was like, almost got scared for a minute on that one. Mercedes Martinez kind of capitalized. Other parts I saw is they were going to the top rope, and Mercedes Martinez does like a super German suplex or belly to belly to Io Shirai, I believe. But fortunately for the matchup, before the match is over, Io Shirai does hit the moonsault on Mercedes Martinez and retains the NXT Women's Championship. I picked Io Shirai to win. I did not actually, because Prime called it right, saying that Mercedes Martinez was going to take the pin here. And I was like, you know what? She is the older veteran, and she's trying to put over the younger talent. So I can definitely see that happening. So it ended up happening. So I thought it was cool. Like I said, unfortunately, I did not see the match. And unfortunately, I'm sorry I got nothing to feed off of it with. I was like, man, I'm about to go live. I ain't going to go back and see this match. I mean, the WWE Network, once the pay-per-view was down, you got to wait till they reboot their system before they put it back up again. I'm just like, my God. So I can't go back to the match other than with the little clips I've seen up on YouTube. But the main event time, guys. Main event here, we have for the NXT Championship, Finn Balor taking on Pete Dunne. This match was technical, and you knew it was going to be technical as the way it started off, as they're doing all the holds. Pete Dunne is working on the arms and the fingers of Finn Balor, but it's telling good storytelling because literally by the end of the match, Finn Balor's hands are so swollen he can't even protect himself. So remember that when I get back to that. So Pete Dunne is doing all he can to work on the hands of Finn Balor, the arms of Finn Balor, the joint manipulation that the Bruiserweight does. It was classic Bruiserweight stuff here that I like. Finn Balor finds ways to try to get out and put submission holds, but Pete Dunne is literally almost like, for the story, is out wrestling Finn Balor. And if Finn Balor does everything he can, he goes and fights back. It's a shotgun drop kick to Pete Dunne, goes up to the top for the coup de grace, but then when he comes down, he gets caught in another arm breaker, and Pete Dunne is forcing and beating down on his hands and everything down. Like, how is Finn Balor going to necessarily get out of this? But as Pete Dunne is still working out Finn Balor, there's so many different reversals, but Pete Dunne does hit the bitter end on Finn Balor. I'm like, my God, Pete Dunne probably gonna win the championship, and it was very close as they counted. Then Finn Balor kicks out. I'm like, okay, on edge of my seat here because I really thought that Pete Dunne could come away with this championship. So Pete Dunne goes for the bitter end again, but then it's a sit down power bomb. That was actually before he hit the bitter end the first time, and then Finn Balor fights back, turns the bitter end to that reverse DDT. They just we used to call it the saving grace. And then as he's fighting off Pete Dunne, he grabs his mouthpiece. So Pete Dunne wrestled with the mouthpiece. He took it out and then he just tossed it away and then gave him a shotgun drop kick right to the face. Then after that, he goes up and then hits the coup de grace right on Pete Dunne, but he's not done yet. Goes up and hits him with the 16-19 and brings him down. I don't know how I feel about Finn Balor hitting 16-19s during Black History Month, but he hits the 16-19 on Pete Dunne and then wins the match and retains the NXT Championship. His hands is so beaten up and swollen after the matchup, the referee actually has to put the belt on for Finn Balor as he's done with the matchup. So I was like, wow. Good selling, but I was like, but he took a beating with those hands. So who comes out? Only Lorcan and Danny Burch come out and they start jumping him once again. That group really is nothing without Pat McAfee. I understand Pat McAfee is busy, doing a lot, and I know he probably covered the Super Bowl and stuff like that. And he ain't gonna work that wrestling schedule, but he needs to come back to help get this group something when it comes to Pete Dunne and Only Lorcan and stuff like that. So they're beating down Finn Balor. Beating him down, and all of a sudden, shock the system. Here comes the Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era make their way down to the ring. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly, they go and chase off Pete Dunne and the tag team champions. And then everybody's down. Finn Balor's looking surprised, like, y'all came out there to help me. Kyle O'Reilly extends the hand to Finn Balor and picks him up, and then they're all about to do the whole Undisputed Era gesture in the ring, and then Finn Balor's about to put up the too sweet, and then Adam Cole just hits him with a super kick. But even when that happened, Kyle O'Reilly gets to the face like, yo, what are you doing? We cool. We was cool. What's going on? We came out there to help him. He gets up in his face and he's like, yo, man, basically they're doing this little bit of arguing, but all of a sudden Adam Cole hits Kyle O'Reilly with the super kick as well. Lays out the NXT champion and Kyle O'Reilly. And I'm like, there's the turn. There's the turn, because what else could you do with Undisputed Era? I'm like, right now, because all them guys have had singles runs before. And I'm like, what else can you do with Undisputed Era right now? If you're not going to bring them to the main roster because WWE will ruin these guys, You guys split them up. Before Undisputed Era even happened, when it came in 2017, I was sitting there like, wait a minute, because for me, I was watching Ring of Honor, even though I was not a big fan of Ring of Honor, but I used to go to Ring of Honor shows, and I've seen like the battles Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole had, and they had some crazy battles. So it looks like now that's the kind of battle we're going to get, because I definitely want to see Kyle O'Reilly taking on Adam Cole. If there's going to be an NXT type thing during WrestleMania weekend, that's the one I want to necessarily see. I want to see Kyle O'Reilly taking on Adam Cole. And that was NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Obviously, takeovers are not as long as WWE pay-per-views. It's about a good 2 hours or 2.5 hours, stuff like that. So what do I rate NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day? I'm actually going to give it I'm gonna give it an A-. I really enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the heel turn at the end by Adam Cole. Both Dusty tag team matches were pretty good. Like I said, there may have been some things with the women's. I was like, they're pretty not as impactful, because I didn't even have Peg, Shazzy, and Ember Moon to win. But there was a point where I was like, maybe they could take this thing. MSK taking on Grizzly and West was still my match of the night. From what I see in triple threat match, it looked pretty decent. But like I said, I didn't see much of the triple threat match. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go back and watch that matchup. And this was the best match Kushida had. I still felt as though that he kind of could have had a chance to do the Back to the Future thing, but he didn't. So, but still, I mean, why not? And of course, the main event was good. Good storytelling, good technical wrestling by these two guys. And then, of course, the whole turn, which really into Adam Cole taking on Pat McAfee thing, but Adam Cole taking on Kyle O'Reilly in the future. So, guys, how'd you guys feel about NXT? Everybody can, if they want to, post in the chat to see how they feel about NXT, stuff like that. Like I said, I do apologize that I don't have my partners here for the wrestling talk, but I will make sure I get everybody back next week for Elimination Chamber. And then definitely I want everybody back here for a huge party for WrestleMania. I want everybody. That's one thing I'm trying to break our live record for Nerd Coalition, period. Okay. For WrestleMania, I'm trying to get about at least 50 people in the chat. All right, we have never gone that high in any chat unless, Swag has been streaming and catches a whiff type thing. But when it comes here, man, I'm trying to get that big of enough party when it comes down for WrestleMania and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all that. We're going to be more organized stuff like here. I want to make sure, I do the best we can. But like I said, we don't got that many people in right now. But if y'all want to put down your review of what y'all said, but I'm giving it right now an A. So far, I recommend you check it out. Make sure check it out. The No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. In full should be up in the morning, hopefully, or later on the night, depending on what's going on. We put up snippets. We did the Wednesday Night War already. Did our predictions, but we're gonna talk about more other stuff. So you guys can find the snippets on YouTube tomorrow. Also, if you can find the snippets of the Nerdgasm Talk podcast on YouTube today as well. So check out all the other content that we've been putting up for you guys. It's going to be another busy week. So stay tuned for all the great stuff that we have for you guys. But looks like, that's pretty much it. I don't want to, hold nobody for any longer than they need to be. So, I guess as right now, like I said, I don't see any questions or anything in the chat as of right now. So we're going to probably pretty much end it right here. Like I said, I don't want to get all long-winded. Like I said, NXT don't take that long to get through anyway. So, all right, guys, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure, you share the video out there, tell everybody about it. Come back here next Sunday for the Elimination Chamber review. We got the go-home shows this week. I will most likely review Raw. My Smackdown from last Friday is coming out tomorrow as well. And then I'll make sure I get back on today, because sometimes Raw just be so exhausting to get through. And like subscribe, and once again, this is NCN Place to Be. Channel Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.